In late October, I was awakened by a call from my close friend Connor, who asked if I wanted to come over to his house later that Saturday. I was in high school at the time, and weekends were typically spent with friends. Connor's parents were out of town, leaving him alone with his older sister, Chantel, who was tasked with watching over him for the weekend. I suspected Connor wanted to have another party, and since I had no work commitments, I agreed to head over. Upon arrival, we spent a few hours playing Call of Duty in the family room, discussing school, sports, and other topics. Eventually, Connor suggested we attend a Halloween party in his neighborhood, which many of our high school peers were attending. Initially, I hesitated, but I gave in after some persuasion. Despite not feeling like partying that night, I agreed to support my friend. We quickly improvised costumes using 2 security staff shirts Connor had. We continued gaming until around 10:30. Connor informed Chantel about our departure, though she seemed uninterested. We donned our shirts and walked to the nearby Halloween-themed house where music blared. Entering the house, we joined around 70 high school students engaged in typical high school party activities. A few minutes later, I lost track of Connor as I was drawn into a conversation with Leno, a baseball teammate. We sat in a circle with other friends and teammates, reminiscing about shared memories and participating in typical party activities. By this point, fatigue had set in, and I decided to head home for some rest. I searched for Connor and found him flirting with a girl in the kitchen. I interrupted their conversation, asking if it was okay to go back to his house to sleep. Connor agreed, but the girl requested that I fetch drinks from the basement. Feeling responsible for interrupting them, I accepted. The basement was easy to find, but on my way down, I stumbled and fell into the fridge. As I opened it, a man's voice behind me tried to startle me with a boo. Startled, I faced him, a tall man in a black cloak costume, with a mischievous grin. Inebriated, I questioned his motive but didn't linger and proceeded to fetch the drinks. The man made small talk, but I was eager to leave his presence. He bid me farewell, and I climbed the creaky stairs, saying my goodbyes and exiting the party. The neighborhood's houses were adorned with Halloween decorations as I walked back to Connor's, even though it was just a 5-minute walk. I couldn't shake the unease I felt from the encounter with the man in the basement. Upon returning to Connor's house, I found it dark, and Chantel's car was gone. I ventured into the dark and eerie house without turning on lights, making my way to the basement to sleep on the couch. I lay there for about 15 minutes until a crashing noise upstairs woke me. I listened for more sounds but heard none. As I attempted to go back to sleep, the floorboards above creaked as if someone heavy was walking on them. I messaged Connor, inquiring if he had returned home. Then, the basement door opened, and I heard someone descending the stairs. I peeked around the corner and saw the same man from the party, dimly illuminated by the stair light. I remained silent, hoping he would leave. After a few moments, he turned and quietly retreated, closing the door. I dialed 911 and informed them of the situation. I waited in the basement, trying to open windows but finding them sealed shut. The police arrived and arrested the man, who was hiding under Chantel's bed. She had returned home moments before the police arrived. I'm unsure of his intentions, but he had clearly followed me home. Strangely, the police reviewed neighboring houses' security cameras and observed the man trailing me home but losing track of me after I entered the cul-de-sac. He then focused on Chantel, watching her and breaking into the house. This experience serves as a reminder to always be aware of one's surroundings. The whole ordeal left me feeling deeply unsettled, with a lingering sense of unease that refused to dissipate. It was clear that the man from the party had followed me, and his intentions were a mystery. With the police on the scene, the immediate danger had passed, but the questions remained. Chantel and I had a lengthy conversation about the incident, during which she expressed her gratitude for my quick thinking in contacting the police. She also shared her own experiences from that evening, including how the man had lurked around her as she entered the house. We were both shaken, realizing how close we had come to a potentially dangerous situation. The police investigation continued, and they collected evidence from the scene. While they hadn't found anything to indicate the man's specific intentions, they assured us they would thoroughly investigate the matter. Meanwhile, Connor returned home after the party, unaware of the events that had transpired in his absence. The days following the incident were marked by heightened vigilance. Our tight-knit group of friends and I remained cautious when attending social gatherings, determined to look out for one another. This event had taught us the importance of staying alert and being prepared for unexpected situations, even during seemingly harmless social events. As the weeks passed, the man's identity and motive remained elusive, leaving a sense of vulnerability in the neighborhood. This shared experience brought our community closer together, fostering a spirit of mutual and its challenges and unexpected situations. The Halloween night was a stark reminder that being prepared, looking out for each other, and actively participating in community